Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe Christmas has come a bit early this year? It is only the 19th of December, and yet here we are. Mojang have now released version 1.0 with the Ender update of Minecraft Pocket Edition and Windows 10 Edition Beta. My name is slicedlime. Let me guide you through this version, which is set to take Minecraft Pocket Edition much closer to the features found in Minecraft PC Edition. This update contains an awful lot of stuff. It's huge, one of the biggest updates I've ever seen for Minecraft, so this video is likely to be fairly long. I'm going to split it up into sections. You can see those at the top of the video. Sadly, YouTube has changed its systems, so I can't make them clickable links anymore, but you will find links to the different sections if you want to skip ahead to one in the video description. We'll be going through the world settings and the main menu stuff first of all, head into the changes for the Overworld, and then of course bite into the big new thing in this version, the end dimension with its related mobs, items and blocks. Then we'll talk about the gameplay changes in this version, changes and fixes to sound and music, changes and fixes in the user interface, and then commands and add-ons. The last section of this video is going to be not about updates in this version specifically, but rather about a comparison between Pocket Edition and the PC Edition, that is the Java Edition. We are getting close, but we're not there yet. In the last part of this video we'll discuss the differences that still remain. There is also of course a massive list of smaller fixes, small bug fixes to the game that are way too many to go through in a video such as this one. Let's get started with some of the changes for world settings. There is now a support for world templates when you create your world. You can either select to generate a random world just like before, or you can select one from a list of available world templates. There's currently one. It is the Festive Mashup 2016 world template. Do note, however, that this is a paid feature. If you choose to generate a world with a random seed, there is now a seed picker, a seed library. Next to the seed field, you have a button that you can click. A new seed picker will appear that shows you pre-selected seeds along with their names and thumbnail images of the world. It is not quite clear to me how new seeds will be added to the screen, but there is a search bar, which makes me think that there will be more seeds down the line. Now, one more fix to the world settings screen before we actually go into the world. That is that in the 0.16 versions of the game, there was a bug where any world with a UTF-8 symbol, that is a non-English symbol in their name, would fail to display in the list of worlds. So if you've lost your world that way, you can now play it again. Let's talk about the changes to the world itself. One major change has happened. The building height has been increased from 128 to 256, which now matches the PC edition of Minecraft. There are also new things in the world. If you go to the colder regions of the world, you will now be able to find igloos there, just like in PC edition, and you will also be able to find polar bears. But the most important change when it comes to the generation is that strongholds will now generate randomly. They do so in new chunks, so if you already have a world and you want to find a stronghold, you will have to go and explore new territory. In order to support this new feature, a few changes have been done to Endermen. Wearing a pumpkin helmet now prevents them from attacking you, and there used to be a bug where they would get angry even if you only looked at their torso. Now you actually have to stare them in the eyes for them to get angry. There's also one more important change, and that is that they now drop ender pearls. As in the PC edition of Minecraft, if you throw an ender pearl, you will teleport to the place where it lands. It can also be used in crafting. If you take an ender pearl and combine it with a piece of blaze powder, then you get an Eye of Ender. An Eye of Ender can be used to locate a stronghold by throwing it into the air and seeing which way it heads. Head that way and you will eventually find a stronghold. Inside the stronghold will also be an end portal frame, which you can activate by filling all the slots with these Eyes of Ender. Once the portal has been filled, enter it to travel to the end. The end contains an island of end stone with obsidian pillars on them. On top of the pillars are end crystals, and this island is occupied not only by endermen, but also by the ender dragon. The ender dragon fight in Pocket Edition now matches the one in PC Edition, where players have to destroy the ender crystals on top of the towers to prevent them from healing the dragon and thus making her near impossible to kill. As in the PC edition of Minecraft, 2 of the pillars also have iron bars protecting their ender crystals. The dragon has a number of attacks. It can do a swoop towards a player to attack that player, but can also perch on top of the portal frame in the middle of the island and spew out poisonous breath. It also has a fireball attack when flying, throwing an exploding ball towards the player, and when that ball explodes, it leaves a poisonous cloud. These poisonous attacks are both related to another new item. If you use an empty glass bottle on these lingering clouds, you get a new item called a Dragon's Breath. The Dragon's Breath item can be used in brewing. Put it in a brewing stand with potions inside of it and it will create a lingering potion. That is a new type of thrown potion that creates a lingering cloud of the potion effect on the ground wherever that potion hits. These lingering potions also work like in Minecraft PC Edition 1.9 in that they can be used to create potion-tipped arrows. Defeating the Ender Dragon opens up the exit out of the end. The portal frame in the center of the island activates, and entering that portal plays the end poem sequence of the game and then spawns you back in your bed. You might not want to exit right away though, because there's a new item perched on top of that portal too. It is a dragon egg, a unique item in the game, and you can only ever get one drop of it this way. Trying to mine the egg the conventional way will cause it to teleport away, but it is possible to get it into your inventory. Before you leave, look around as well. Defeating the Ender Dragon has also done one more thing. It opened up an end gateway at some position around the edge of the island. These gateways are blocked off by bedrock, but you can still use them by throwing an ender pearl into them. The other side of the gateway is around 1,000 blocks away. Across a long gaping void in the end is the Rim World. Here we have randomly generated terrain stretching on forever outwards, and here we can find another new addition. These strange looking trees are called chorus plants. You can harvest the chorus plant in 2 ways. Either you can harvest the fruits found at the top of the branches, or you can chop down the entire thing by breaking it at the bottom. These 2 items are very different. The fruit part harvested separately gives you a chorus plant that you can then replant. It will grow on endstone and can be cultivated in any dimension. The other item is called a chorus fruit. It is an edible item with a twist. Not only does it get your stomach full, it also moves your stomach somewhere else. That is, eating a chorus fruit will teleport you to a random location exactly like the way an Enderman would teleport. It also has one more use. It can be put inside a furnace to create a popped chorus fruit. These popped chorus fruits can then be used to create some of the other new blocks in this update. However, that is not the only way to get those new blocks. They are also found in a randomly placed new structure that is called an end city. These end cities have vast towers that spider upwards, and they are made of endstone bricks and purpur blocks, and they are lit by a new light source called end rods. These end cities are inhabited by a new type of mob called shulkers. These shulkers are little creatures situated inside a box that looks like a block. If you get close enough to them, they will open up their shell and fire a shulker bullet projectile at you. These funny projectiles don't move like normal projectiles, but rather along the coordinate grid in the world. That is, they will zigzag from block to block to get to you. A shulker bullet can be destroyed by attacking it, but if it does hit you, it deals a little bit of damage but also applies a new effect to you. This is a levitation effect, causing you to rise up from the ground and then potentially fall and hurt yourself. Getting hit by successive shulker bullets will refresh the effect, so you could end up very high up in the air. Killing a shulker gives you a new item. It is a shulker shell, and it currently does absolutely nothing. However, you might want to hold on to this because it is a key item used to craft the new shulker boxes that were added in Minecraft PC Edition 1.11. These shells in Pocket Edition version 1.0 are there because eventually this use will find its way into this version as well. The end city looks just like the one in Minecraft PC Edition, except it doesn't have any banners, because the banner is one of the features that still haven't made their way to Minecraft Pocket Edition. If you keep climbing your way to the top of it, you can find chests with all kinds of loot in them, but you can also find another type of chest, an ender chest. The contents of this chest is uniquely yours. Every player who looks into this chest will see their own contents, a little bit like a bank in many other games. The contents is the same regardless of which ender chest that is opened. You can also craft these ender chests by using an eye of ender and obsidian blocks. At the top of some of the end cities there are also flying ships floating in the void. They are also manned by shulkers, so be careful when approaching, but if you can get your way over to one, you can find some new goodies. At the front of it is a figurehead, a new block called a dragon's head. This head can be worn for a fearsome look and is also animated, but can also be placed on a wall or on the ground and animated by sending it a redstone signal. If you enter the ship instead, you can find brewing stands with healing potions and more chests with more loot. However, that is not the true treasure of the ship. The true treasure can be found in an item frame, a chest piece of armor with wings called elytra. These wings can be equipped and activated while falling to enter a gliding mode, which is a very efficient way to travel very far, very quickly. And with that, I think that we're done with the end. All of the new blocks that we have mentioned, except the dragon's egg and the dragon's head, are also craftable. In other gameplay fixes, there's now an animation for throwing an item, so both you and fellow players will now be able to see you throw an item. If you fall and exit a world and then reopen that world, your momentum downwards no longer resets, so you can no longer use that to avoid falling to your death. Cheater. In the blacksmith's huts in the villages, the random loot that can be found inside the chests has been updated to include diamonds, so you can now find diamonds inside villages to rob the poor villagers of. A new feature for this version that has existed for a while in Minecraft PC Edition is that when you hold a piece of armor in your hand and you use it as an item, it will now equip that armor piece if that slot is free. Speaking about armor, the protection enchantment has been fixed, so it now does the same thing as in PC Edition, that is, it no longer protects you against suffocation and against cactus damage. Mushrooms can now be made into huge mushrooms. All you need is some bone meal. Couple of fixes to mobs. All zombie pigmen within range will now attack you if you attack one of them. Be very careful. Let's move on and talk about sound in this version. Sound effects and music volume had some issues that have been fixed, and you can now download the music into this version of the game to play Minecraft with the original soundtrack. They've also done a large amount of fixes to sound effects, like the arrow hit sound, and added a whole bunch of other missing sound. This includes the ignite sound for TNT minecarts and creepers, so you can now hear a creeper ignite. However, creepers no longer make any idle sounds, so they are silent until they are ready to blow. You can now hear the bubbling sound of fresh hot lava, ghast sounds, thunder sounds, snow golems, cured villagers, and the summoning of a wither. In addition to that, they have fixed note blocks fading away if you walk away from them, as well as hearing a sound effect when you are starting to drown. Work has been done to the user interface as well. If you open the advanced video settings, you can now select a profile between Pocket and the classic profile used in the Windows 10 edition. There's also now a text-to-speech option for chat in the sound settings. In addition to that, there's a large amount of smaller fixes, like the search tab now selecting the search box when you switch to that tab and start typing even if the box wasn't selecting, and fixes with text input and mouse click lag. There's another new thing as well. You can now whisper to yourself in the chat, which is good for making notes to yourself that only you can see. There are two new commands in this version: /connect, which takes a server URI as a string parameter. There's no more documentation on what this actually does, but it seems safe to assume that it connects your client to a server. There's also the /locate command that was added in Minecraft PC Edition 1.11, however it doesn't seem to currently function in the game. Two more fixes. Weather now clears up properly if you use the /toggle downfall command during a thunderstorm, and the autocomplete list now properly shows players that are on the same world as you are, but in a different dimension. They've also included various tweaks to add-ons, including improvements to loading. You will now get better error messages if there are problems in your add-on pack, and stronger validation of the add-ons manifest. However, in terms of contents of the add-ons, there doesn't seem to be much added in this version. We do know that they have said that plugins, the next step to add-ons, will be coming in a later version, probably in 2017. And that is where we'll end our rundown of the changes. This all brings us to the final section of this video, with Minecraft Pocket Edition 1.0 bringing us a huge step closer to the feature set of Minecraft PC Edition. Let's take a look at what is still missing from the game. Some blocks and items are still missing. This includes banners, armor stands, stained glass, and all of the blocks added in Minecraft PC Edition 1.10 and 1.11. We're also still missing shields and dual wielding from Minecraft 1.9, along with the new enchantments from Minecraft 1.9 as well. Another big missing feature is villager trading that still hasn't been added into this version. Commands are much more restricted in this version, not being able to use NBT data at all and still missing a few commands. Continuing along the technical side of things, there's also of course no mods in this version, and while Mojang have announced and detailed quite a lot of information about plugins that are supposed to act as this version's modding API, that is still not in this version of the game. If you're interested in more information about that, there was a panel about add-ons and plugins at Minecon 2016. I'll try to leave a link to that video in the description. And that gets us to the end of this update video for Minecraft Pocket Edition 1.0, the Ender update. I hope you found this useful, and if you did, please help me out in return and leave a like on the video. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are you most excited about in this update, and what are you looking forward to most in what's coming in the next one? Thank you for watching. This is slicedlime, and I'll see you in another video. Take care.